Hello, and welcome to Scaling Your Scaler.
That is the first and last time you will hear me ever say the word scalar on this channel. Today I'd like to talk about scale. So the most popular scale in our segment of RC is 1/10. At least that's what they call it. Most of our models are slightly larger than 1/10 scale, 1/9, or even 1/8. So for my first example of finding the accurate scale, or the true scale of a truck, will be the Hilux, or in this case it's a RC four-wheel drive Mojave, but it's a first generation four-wheel drive Toyota body. According to Wikipedia, the wheelbase should be 2,585, and in scale this wheelbase is 287 millimeters. So we will do some simple math, punch it into our calculator. 2585 divided by 287, and we get 9.0069. So what that says, this body is almost a perfect 1/9 scale, and that's based on wheelbase only, but it's a pretty proportional body, in width and like overall length and stuff. So it's safe that we can just base the scale on the wheelbase. If you wanted to be for certain, you could take some other known measurements, like if you have a truck in your driveway or whatever, you get someone to measure like the length of a door. You could scale that out from a real one to the model, and if you get conflicting numbers, then you could add them together, get the average, see what it is. But pretty sure this is 1/9, so it's not 1/10. So now that we have that all figured out, we can move on to the same type of truck, same body, same style, but this one is sold as 1/24 scale. This is the 1/24 TrailRunner 2. We already have the 1:1 measurement on the wheelbase of 2585 millimeters. So we'll measure this little guy, and we get 120 millimeters. We'll plug it in. So we get 21.54. So we could round up to 22, so it's actually 1/22 scale. So then I have another one that probably nobody else has. It's an old body that someone made resin copies of years ago, but it's just a little bigger. So we'll measure that just for fun. So I got 132, 19.58. So this is 1/20th scale. And on an interesting side note, my TF2 came with a right-hand drive steering wheel, but I have left-hand drive wipers on it. And then this one which is all JDM, is correct. So that's kind of neat, and that's funny. So I'm curious about this one because I've never actually got the scale myself. This is the FMS 1983 Hilux, which is a 1984, and it's different than the previous ones because this one is a long bed, so it'll have a longer wheelbase measurement to start with. And according to Wikipedia, the 2nd gen or 4th gen or whatever, depending on what part of the world you're in, this long wheelbase model is 2,845, and we'll divide that by 195, and that gets 14.5. So according to my math, this is about 1/15 scale. Here we have the Element TrailRunner, which is like a 5th generation 4Runner. This one, I do believe, is marketed as 1/10 scale. However, we know that can't be trusted. So your real life wheelbase of a 5th generation 4Runner is 2,790. And what do we have? Oh no, the ruler's too short. It should be 312, and it is. 8.9, it's 1/9 scale. Before I go any further off on this tangent of measuring things and calculating, I'd like to explain why I made this video. It's mostly for scratch builders or people looking into getting into scratch building and helping them get the right size truck. So since most of the kits I've had experience with for 1/9 scale, I always scratch build in 1/9 scale, so everything just looks good together on the shelf, or if I'm running two at the same time, or photographing them at the same time. When I'm going to scratch build, I get the wheelbase of the full-size truck, and then I just divide it by 9, and that will give me my 1/9 scale wheelbase. It's always better to build to a body instead of being limited by the two standard wheelbases. And while we're talking about scale, I should talk about like the size of your driver figure or doll if you choose to use them. So this is Pappy Smiggin. He is the proprietor of Smiggin's Folly. He is 8 inches tall, a little under 8 inches, but he's sold as an 8-inch figure. So in 1/9 scale, 8 times 9 is 72 inches. So he's 6 foot tall, give or take. 6 foot tall man. So he looks pretty good next to this 1/9 scale scratch built Dodge Power Ram. Now, what we usually see are undersized drivers that, even though they are muscular and have nice mullets, they look like little children driving a car. So this is a 6-inch tall wrestling man, and you can see the difference. So he would only be, if my math is correct, 54 inches tall if he were to drive a 9 scale truck. So yeah, people can be that short, but he'd be a little guy. You're just barely seeing over the steering wheel. So there's some food for thought. I don't want to make this video too long because I think you get the point, but here's another example of a 1/9 scale. This is RC 4-wheel drive Blazer based. This is all printed and stuff, but so the Blazer is also 1/9 scale. Actually, pretty much all of RC 4-wheel drive's current hard body offerings are 1/9. They call them 1/10, but they accidentally got it right and at least made them all the same scale. So you might be wondering, are there any actual 1/10 scale? According to my math, the SCX-10-3 Jeep JLU 4-door is good. That's 1/10 scale. But in the past, with like the SCX-10-2, the Cherokee XJ, that was actually, I think it was closer to 1/8 scale. So the wheelbase on that that's the wheelbase of a XJ divided by 312, which I think that was almost, you could round that down and that'd be 8 scale. What was the point of this video? Not a whole bunch. desperate for content. I don't have any good builds going on. I'm stuck fixing my broken cuckbee in the driveway, and I just wanted to show you how cool math was. But also, in case you're looking to scratch build for the first time, or you're trying to scale up or down a 3D printed body to get it right, yeah, or if you want your trucks to look cool together, go for 1/9 scale. Okay, bye.